welcome to the Patriot Hour for Tuesday, April 16th, 2019. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. We know you're busy. Got your day-to-day activities, work, kids, grandkids, after-school activities, all that, all right? We get it, so we try to bring you tidbits of information here, folks, at a time when we believe it is pertinent, something to pay attention to. Again, we encourage to think for yourself. Always think for yourself, all right? Use logic, discernment, listen to everything you can, watch everybody you can, but believe none of it until you can verify it in your own right. Okay, we got a kind of a disgusting article to get into here today. Again, it's about Epstein. We've been following along for years with this guy, his plane, the people he hangs around, his island over in the Virgin Islands. I've been there. I've been to all 3 Virgin Islands, but there's many of other little islands that are kind of, no cars are allowed on them. We went by one that was like golf cart only, smaller little island, but they just kind of live there. All the main shopping and everything's going to have to be done on one of the more main islands, but Epstein owns his own island over in there. All right, let's jump in here. Epstein's Orgy Island, St. James Island exposed. The elite's best kept secret. Make this a little bigger here for you. All right, here's a picture. So jet setters from around the world meet on a private island for orgies, sometimes for orgies and other sexual acts with young, sometimes underage women. Little St. James, U.S. Virgin Islands, if you can name it, it has likely taken place on a lavish private island off the coast of Florida, which boasts a beautiful landscaped, plush luxury estate, complete with its own helipad, privy only to certain members of the global elite. Owned by Jeffrey Epstein, a wealthy American financier and convicted sex offender, Little St. James Island appears to be somewhat of a gathering place and as well-desired hangout among key figureheads, actors, and royalty to the likes of former U.S. President Bill Clinton, Kevin Spacey, and even Prince Andrew. However, the people attending the lavish residence are not likely to discuss cutting-edge scientific and medical research, as the Epstein 5 Foundation would like you to believe. Or is that 6? 4? Like you to believe, but rather experience full-on sexual encounters with underage girls as young as 14. That's just sick. That's just sick, folks. That's right, just like a scene out of the Hollywood blockbuster films Eyes Wide Shut, starring Tom Cruise. From wild parties to prostitution orgies and even underage sex, Little St. James has it all, seemingly a gathering point for frequented by prominent jet setters. As it's all being exposed, the cat is out of the bag, so to speak. Another little picture here. Back in 2005, police conducted an 11-month-long undercover investigation on Jeffrey Epstein and his estate after the mother of a 14-year-old girl went to the police after suspecting her daughter was paid $300 for at least one sexual act on the island, in which she was ordered to strip, leaving on just her panties while giving Epstein a massage. Although police found tons of photos of young women on the island and even interviewed eyewitnesses, Epstein was hit with a mere slap on the wrist after pleading to a single charge of prostitution. Epstein later served 13 months of his 18-month service in jail. In 2008, Epstein was hit again, this time with a $50 million civil suit after another victim, a woman, filed in federal court claiming that she was recruited by Epstein to give him a massage, but was essentially forced into having sexual intercourse with him for $200, which was payable upon completion. The women were coming out of the woodwork. Now, Bill Clinton is back in the press, not for his controversial relationship with Monica Lewinsky, but rather for his friendship with Jeffrey Epstein. In fact, flight records indicate that Bill would frequent the island paradise in 2002 and 2005 era, while Hillary, Bill's wife, was senator in New York. She was busy. He was able to go gallivanting around. Now, the other funny thing that I know about this was he was evading his Secret Service because he has one for life. And he has like ditched his Secret Service like 13 to 14 times, folks. All right, whether at the airport last minute, I gotta use the restroom, and he'd go cut off to the restroom and then get on this plane and it be taken off, and his Secret Service, would be at the window banging on it. No, he got me. I mean, I don't know how many times he pulled that exact stunt, but that way. But I've read like upwards of 13 to 14 times. Check that out. He was able to ditch his Secret Service. I remember asking Jeffrey, "What's Bill doing here?" kind of thing, and he laughed it off and said, he owes me a favor. One unidentified woman said in the lawsuit, which was filed in Palm Beach Circuit Court. That one went on to say how the orgies were a regular occurrence, and she recalled 2 young girls from New York who were always seen around the 5-house compound, but their personal backstories were never revealed. At least one woman on the compound was there unwillingly, reported the Daily Mail in the recent article. The woman was allegedly forced to have sex with politicians, businessmen, royalty, academians, and at the retreat. Just one of more than 40 women that have come forth with allegations against Epstein, showing the vast scale of the man's dark operations, which aren't limited only to Little St. James. Moreover, Epstein was invited to Chelsea Clinton's wedding in 2010 amongst 400 other guests, demonstrating his close friendship with the Clinton family. To top it all off, Prince Andrew was allegedly Prince Andrew was allegedly one of the house visitors. On Friday, the Duke of York was named in a federal lawsuit filed against Epstein, whom the FBI once reported linked to 40 women. Filed in 2008 in the Southern District of Florida, the $50 million lawsuit claimed Epstein had sexual preference and obsession for underage minor girls, gained access to primarily economically disadvantaged minor girls in his home, sexually assaulted these girls, as reported by the Washington Post. Additionally, it was also reported that Donald Trump used to hang out with Epstein back in the day. In fact, the Trumpinator himself has even commented previously on Epstein's taste for younger women, also pointing out that Epstein is fun to be around. While it is unknown how deep Trump was with Epstein, pardon the pun, Trump's friendship demonstrates the type of personalities which surround Epstein, with money being the common tie. All right, so again, we know that Trump, I think there's even a time when Epstein had been to one of Trump's mini resorts, and there's been photos taken. So we've heard Trump himself say, "I'm a former insider." He's a former, we've seen pictures with him with Clinton. They used to come to the weddings. He was at their wedding, I think, or they were at his wedding with Ivanka. So that just lets you know that he's said it. "I'm a former insider." That's how he made his deals. He prospered off a lot of these deals that weren't right. He didn't write the laws. A lot of the people that have taken advantage of him didn't write the laws. These laws have been around for a long time. We don't know when people change, what the hand of God gets on them at what point, and they decide to do whatever. We don't know enough to say that, Trump was doing this, but we do use our discernment. Folks, we're here to report on the truth. So anytime, even with the new administrations, we're always going to keep pressing, looking, and if we see something, we're going to report on it. That's just how it works, all right? So again, we know Trump made dirty money back in the day. Probably did some deals that weren't so legit. It's just about the now. And we're even told at the end of all this, when we're going to get, we're going to vote in a new president, Trump possibly will step down. If we get everything corrected and we vote a true president in, not through the District of Columbia, there'll have to be a new election, and maybe Trump won't even run. That's the way the story goes. But things will be fixed. And it's like, wow, how does somebody that took advantage of the systems and maybe did some of these things do that? Well, because who knows what happened in anyone's life, right? I don't judge like that. I just judge off what's going on at this particular minute. People will tell you, 30 years ago he did this, so watch out for him. Okay, I'm going to keep that in mind now that you told me, but I don't really judge people unless it's clear cut, you know, and they're still out to get you. So, all right, just wanted to bring that up. This is a short tidbit article. Orgy Island, Epstein, pretty sick stuff. Check it out if you guys want to go a little further. There's some stuff about the author here. Again, this is DC Dirty Laundry, good website, another one I recommend. I like to, you know, look at the chicks on the right, DC Dirty Laundry, big league politics, every day. All right, pretty interesting stuff. This is from the archives, by the way. This article, some of these pictures, 2015. This article might have originally aired or was written in January 8th of 15. So it's good to revisit. When it was talking about Bill Clinton's name being back in the media, that's not so much right now. That was back in 2015. And I remember that time frame. It was coming up. The flight logs were coming out. We were seeing names like Spacey, Clinton. That's when the stories came out about Clinton ditching his Secret Service upwards of a dozen times. So, all right, I'm Mike. This is a Patriot Hour. God bless, Godspeed each and every one of you. We'll see you back here real soon on the next Patriot Hour update video coming real soon. Have a great day.